Okay, let's have one or two Blitz games this evening. Hard knit 2044. I'm below 2200 at the moment. Tragic. Let's play Sicilian maybe. Can I try and crawl up? If I can just beat this guy. He's not going to play a dull Sicilian, is he? Can I actually win with Najdorf? I don't think I've won with the Najdorf this year. I might have won with the Dragon, but I don't know. I've always been hacked with this. So I wonder if I can actually get away with it. Maybe an accelerated b5 bishop b7 as a surprise. I think maybe something's going on. Players with the white side are very familiar with the strategy, so maybe I need to mix it up slightly with different move orders or something to try and confuse players. So maybe if I delay, for example, bishop here without allowing a knight sack, probably I've just allowed a knight sack. Is he going to take it up here? Otherwise knight e5 to c4. He's not casting queenside though. I'm not sure about this because usually if they castle kingside, f4 is usually the plan. Now I can nab this bishop surely. If I can play if f4 knight c4, nab that bishop, then this bishop's also cutting across the diagonal there. So this looks like a fairly pleasant position, but I just tend to keep losing these as black. I don't know if it's because I'm not used to it. It's too exciting for my whoops, mouse slips. Alright, I seem to have a nice position. Sort of a bit, f4 looks vulnerable. So knight h5 to f4, maybe that's tempting. There's rook d8 is tempting, but I don't know. Queen g5 and a rerouting. So knight h5 first, and then maybe rook d8 and knight f4. So if I get to play knight f8 and then maybe f5, actually avoid this infiltration with the queen first. And there's no knight h5 here for the moment. If I can get to play f5 or rook d8. Do I want rook d8? I don't really want the rooks off, so I'll play bishop c6 for the moment, which might be useful for queen b7 and f5 later, trying to undermine this diagonal. So knight f4 would loosen the diagonal a bit if you had to play g3, slightly weakening this diagonal as well. Queen b7 walks straight into knight a5 though, so I can't arrange a battery that easily. Okay, so now f5 or knight f4. I think knight f4, bit of tactical pressure. If he plays g3, a bit weakening. Now f5 here is a key question. I think I'll go for it, f5, because I can always answer bishop f6 if he puts pressure on e5. I think at least bishop f6 is going to be possible, or maybe even rook takes. That gives up the e4 square. But it would undouble my pawns if I just take like that more naturally. But then d5 is a little bit weaker, but on the other hand knight is on d5, the bishop's on d5. Questions now come up. Is he going to play g3 here and then knight d5? But then can I play queen b7? It starts to get a bit complex. Have I got queen b7? Okay, questions definitely come up. Queen b7 takes bishop f3, take the rook. There's nothing to write home about. So I'm going to allow knight d5 here. Knight d5 looks as though it could be dangerous. Unless there's anything else, amazing tactical move or something. G5, bishop f6. E4 takes, he takes. No, bishop g5. Bishop g5 is interesting. Takes, queen f2, rook f6. Actually, there's knight d5 there. Takes bishop, rook h6, h3. I'm not so sure about that. Okay. Maybe just knight e6 here. If knight d5 would take, and then bishop f6, then I might have knight d4. I think I'll go with that. So knight d5 takes bishop f6 with the idea of knight d4. Right, he's not playing knight d5, so I've got time now, surely, to challenge the d5 square. I don't want to play knight d4. I want to catch up my 30 seconds that I've just lost as well. So bishop f6 and knight d4, maybe with a good position, potentially. And there's tactical liabilities. If f4, e4, Surprised he didn't play knight d5 there. A lot's going on very quickly all of a sudden in this game continuation. Okay, I'll go for his d file then. If I get this queen in here, then maybe knight d4, bishop f6 or bishop g5. I want to play the ending. Is the ending that bad for me? Or should I just play knight d4? I want to keep the queens on. I'll keep the queens on for fun. Okay, so I want to play maybe a5 and dislodge knight a4. Or queen b7 as knight d5. Okay, so knight d4, bishop f6. If knight d5, I've just walked into knight d5. Unless I don't really want to take. Queen d8 has got knight f6 check now. Oh dear. He hasn't got. Well, queen f6. Okay, I'm going to take with the queen. It's queen d6. I don't know. It's very hard, isn't it? Sometimes in Blitz to keep control. So I'm just walked into a bad ending. I'll go with knight d4, hoping that's okay. Get double pawns. Do I get anything in that ending? Try and rely on pawn mobility. Nope, there's no real pawn mobility. Unless I'm going to take here and then I've got pawn mobility. Maybe this is okay. d3, bishop f. Actually, he hasn't got bishop f1. These pawns might actually be okay here. If I've got d3 on the cards. Oh, don't tell me I've been disconnected. Nope. Okay, a temporary pawn sack just to reinforce and try and get the king in. Okay. So can I try and just get a winning pass pawn here? d3. Isn't that a winning pass pawn? Takes. King g2 d2. Isn't that just queening? And I didn't notice that in that previous position. Rather embarrassingly, he could have played king g2 there. No, maybe I would have taken. But isn't this pawn just queening? I think this is the first game all year I've won with the Sicilian Najdorf, if I am going to win this game. No, maybe that's an exaggeration, but it's usually the dragon that I've been winning with. Yes, I've actually won a game with the Sicilian Najdorf. Unbelievable. So it went a bit crazy, as they usually do. And so I think I managed to lose all my potential advantages in the position. For some reason it didn't pounce with knight d5 until now, which was good anyway. Here it looked horrendous for me, and from this such an ugly position maybe he felt sorry for me and went straight into a losing position by playing f4, playing bishop e4, which looks really dangerous now. c3, d3. If it takes, then these pawns are really dangerous. So he should have moved his king to stop the queening here. d3 takes, king f2, it stops the queening. But here I might be okay now after king g2, just f5, which was probably wary of, because I'm locking down his pawns, aren't I, with h5 and then bringing the king up. I might actually have the advantage there. So he tried to stop that. And though I did have d3 just winning straight off the bat, but no, I tried to mess it up. And then I noticed pawns queening. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.